coverage of the next race in the Sound Running Sunset Tour, the Final Surge Women's Steeplechase. Give you a look at the start list here. Got a couple of weeks before the national championships, Tom. We've seen a lot of top American steeplechasers here in Los Angeles, just not running this particular race. In fact, only one section for the women. We had two sections for the men, but still some notable names. Three-time NCAA champion Ali Ostrander is here. Grace Featherstonehaugh out of Canada was All-American for Oregon State. CASHIN, twice Australian national champion, two-time Olympian. And Madison NEUNER is also competing, 2024 ACC runner-up for Syracuse. The lights to be set at 9:18, and that is exactly the World Championship standard for Tokyo here in 2025. Underway with the women's 3,000-meter steeplechase.
And Paul, moving right to the front is the Brit Sara TAIT, West Virginia senior. She finished fourth at the NCAAs in June, and then went and represented Great Britain at the European Team Championships last month, and came away with a runner-up finish there. 9:27.80 is her best steeple, but she's also got wheels. 4:12.66 1,500-meter runner. You can see her there, number 11 in the traditional singlet of West Virginia with the black and gold. And to your point about Ali Ostrander, you're not really sure what Ostrander is going to show up at the track. We've seen her have some great races, and then some that that aren't so good, and she's kind of a little bit up and down. She was the NC2A champion for Boise State for 3 years in a row, 17, 18, 19, was fourth at the USATF meet in 19. I mean, great speed, 9:21.82 for the steeple, 15:16.38 for the 5, but you know, you don't know when she shows up what kind of shape she's in. It'll be interesting to see, Paul. I think that's one of the mysteries in this race.
Well, and speaking of people who didn't show up, that is now confirmed. Ostrander among the four who did not step to the line here, which apologies for us to have promoted her in this race, though she was on the start list until the moment they stepped to the line. Darkness preventing us from maybe IDing all the athletes in real time, but Colette Rampf, the German, also not competing, and Kitta of India and Emily Cole. Those are the four that did not start the race. Grace Featherstonehaugh of Canada is here, and she is trying to lead this group, but they're already seeing those lights get away from them here in the early going in this women's Final Surge steeplechase.
Well, let's also talk about Logan JOLLY, who's in this field, 27-year-old Arkansas graduate. She ran 9:39 on this track a couple months ago. She's run 9:26.23. She was 7th at the USATF in 23, 7th at the NCAA in 22. And meanwhile, at the front, both Featherstonehaugh and TAIT kind of pulling away from the group. Featherstonehaugh should be very familiar to many in the Pac-12 area. Under Coach Louis Quintana, she won the Pac-12 steeple and 5,000 meters in 2023. And Paul, amazing consistency at the Canadian Championships, 3rd in 22, 23 and 24 in the steeple, and 6th at the NC2A steeple in 23. But Sara TAIT really moving well out front.
So 3.5 minutes into this race, with TAIT having already secured a new lifetime best this year of 9:27.80, finishing 4th at the NCAA championships for West Virginia. So she's from Great Britain. The Canadian Featherstonehaugh in 2nd. Logan JOLLY is currently in 3rd, but already some good separation here. Alondra NEGRON
I think it's interesting that Tate was selected to participate in the European Team Championships for Great Britain shortly after the NCAAs took place. And for her to finish runner-up like that after a big meet like the NCAAs, to go overseas and then, perform very well for her country, says a lot about who, kind of competitive nature that she has. That was a very impressive kind of double for her.
Well, two things that stood out to me watching that team championship. One was the green track, very noticeable, and two was being contested in Spain. It was very warm during that stretch. They were having a pretty solid heat wave. So to the extent that she also went over there, did the international travel, global competition in tough conditions, and still performed very well. That's the kind of performance that does give you a sense that her career is heading in the right direction. Right now she's heading in the right direction, leading this field down the back stretch. A little over 5 minutes elapsed on the clock in the final surge women's 3,000 meter steeplechase. We'll move on to the 1,500 meters to follow, then 2 5Ks, including that women's 5K that we're eagerly anticipating. Will end the night racing in the darkness at 10,000 meters, a field that is mainly a contingent of Ethiopian runners that have been on the West Coast, and we're looking for a 10K, and that's also set up to run fast. That'll be kind of a fun way to end the night as we start to get close to the end of this race for Tate and FETHERSTONHAUGH. 3 laps to go.
I don't think FETHERSTONHAUGH is out of this thing yet, but one of the things I really like for athletes that out there that may be watching it, the running mechanics that Sara Tate has are really exquisite. Her arm carriage is about as perfect as it can get. She has really nice turnover and really handles the barriers extraordinarily well. And so if you're a young runner out there, that arm carriage is about as perfect as it gets. FETHERSTONHAUGH is really starting to try to reel her in and really starting to make up the gap. So we may have a really quite an interesting finish here, Paul.
FETHERSTONHAUGH definitely making up the ground on Tate as they head to the water jump.
This is a good old-fashioned Commonwealth battle, Paul. Great Britain versus Canada.
As they come into the home stretch, FETHERSTONHAUGH is now moving to the outside, trying to challenge Tate here for the lead. As they come up on the 7-minute mark a lap, 74:13 was the last lap. And now with 2 laps to go, they go 74:31 through about 2,200 meters. And FETHERSTONHAUGH trying to break away from Tate and chase those lights into the darkness.
Paul, there's a shot that Grace FETHERSTONHAUGH could better her lifetime best, which is 9:31:08, and was set in Portland just about a month ago. She looks full of run here, and I think that she is going to be able to dip under that here. Her turnover is just excellent with 600 to go. You can see on this drone shot just how fast she's moving. She takes the barriers very, very well. And she just looks exceptional. Maybe it's not at the pace lights, but for her, I think she's got a real shot at getting that lifetime best. We'll have to see the next 500 meters how it goes. A little chop there, but she looks very determined, and the turnover, again, very, very good. Good purchase off the track.
FETHERSTONHAUGH's time of 9:31:08 is number 5 all-time in Canadian history. Kayla McCabe holding the Canadian record, 9:20:58. She set that in Los Angeles last May.
And by the way, McCabe, another ex-West Virginia steeplechaser, just like Sara Tate, who's currently in second. Little chop there again for FETHERSTONHAUGH. Now she's going to be coming up to about 200 meters to go. It's going to be tough here. 38 seconds. She can do it. A little chop there, too. Not a great coming off the water jump, but she may be able to break that 930, Paul. A lot of mistakes, but, you know, if she can come through, she should be pretty darn happy.
Yeah, Alicia Butterworth, number 4 on the Canadian all-time list at 9:28.68. Reagan Yee at 9:24.82 appears to be safe, but can she move up one spot on the all-time list for Team Canada?
Yes.
Very close at the line.
Oh, yeah, big PR.
And 9:28.42 is the official time. And she does catch Alicia Butterworth and moves up to number 4 all-time on the Canadian list. Grace Featherstonehaugh taking the win in the final surge women's 3,000-meter steeplechase in 9:28.42.
And, Paul, there's a lot left there. She made quite a few mistakes on the barriers over the last couple of laps, so there's improvement in the offing for her. And with those Canadian championships coming up, she is going to be a force to be reckoned with. 3 runner-up finishes at the Canadian National Championships. This could be the year, Paul, where she takes everyone down and wins it.
Almost getting a security escort for after that performance there. But looking back on the race, Tait, you know, give Tait some credit. She pushed out the pace there, and Featherstonehaugh had to react, and I think that put Featherstonehaugh in a great position, and then just gutted out that last lap and a half in the lead as she passed Tait here on the main straightaway, making her move with a couple of laps to go, and was able to hold her off in the final stretch. And
with a couple chopped steps and a couple of other things that she can work out, Grace Featherstonehaugh has got a great chance to maybe dip very to the low 920s.